We used the regular CPT before, but the problem that we had is that first it was the same CPT for different ages. So sometimes little children found it a little bit boring to follow just letters, and it was in black and white. So they were not very engaged. And the other issue is that we had it installed in a computer because we bought the CD. So once we had to change the computer, we lost all our data, and we lost all the previous CPT. And we did that 2 or 3 times as technology was evolving, and eventually we found the MOXO that it was online, and you don't have to have it installed in one single computer. And we found that a good way to solve that problem. So we changed to MOXO. We do the CPT MOXO in every single patient in the first evaluation, unless they come to our clinic with a previous CPT that has been done very recently. But we do it on every single patient in the initial visit. And then we have that as the baseline. And I find it very helpful in order to know whether there's an executive function problem on inattention, impulsivity, and time management, and also hyperreactivity. And that sometimes can gear you or target your intervention depending on the different problems that they have. Sometimes we do a second test, and we generally don't do it to see if the patient is doing better, because the patient is going to tell us, and the parents are going to tell us, and clinically you know that. But sometimes what happens is that the patient is not doing better, and your dose is already kind of high, and you want to know whether the executive function problem that they had at baseline, whether if they still have it or not. Because if they still have it, I make a point to the parents that maybe we need to increase the dose a little bit more, even if we are on the high end of the dose, because we still have executive function problems, and try to use that medication all the way to the highest dose that we can tolerate. But if the patient doesn't have an executive function problem and the medication isn't working, maybe we need to do something else. So that's the way that we use it as a follow-up in the cases that aren't doing well, to see whether they still have an executive function problem. I think the parents ask for or want to have some representation of the performance of the child. And what I do is after I do the interview, I get the results from the MOXO in the very first visit. We also get intellectual function, so we have the IQ and the MOXO, and then I show it to the parents, and I say, first, your child has a good intellectual function, he has a good IQ, so or whether the patient is very impulsive. So if they have a alteration on the test, I show it to them, and I show it over time. So it's helpful for them to have a graphic representation. So they kind of like it to have it, and I see them nodding with their head when I'm explaining them the problems that the child is having, and they understand it's much better an external problem to the child. It's not that the child is lazy or he doesn't want to work. It's that he has a real problem. So in that way, I think it's helpful. Yeah, as far as the technical aspect, I think it's very good that you can use it from any computer that has access to the internet, and also the service that you get if you get any problems. The online help is very, very fast. As far as the professional results, it is short. You do it very fast with the child, and they like it. It's like a small computer game for them. And then you get the results immediately. You get a printout, a nice printout with different ways to see the results. And so sometimes you use it in the clinic when we are talking with the parents. We send the child to do the MOXO, and then we have the results immediately, and we show it to the parents. So it's very useful and very helpful for a day-to-day clinic.